And while we were away from our post here in the catbird seat of the sporting world, a big development took place. And if you were not paying attention, you were distracted by other things going on in your life, and perhaps that was the case, you likely missed it. The Houston Police Department announcing that an investigation concerning Deshaun Watson has started. This after someone, we don't know who, filed a police report against the Texans quarterback. This is also known as the Friday news dump. Take out your trash day, and police did not say what Watson is actually being accused of in the complaint. However, based on the 21 civil lawsuits alleging similar activity, being a pervert, sexual assault, inappropriate behavior, it's not hard to imagine where this is going. You know, when you assume, you often assume wrong, but we're going to make some assumptions based on what has happened. So let us discuss the question: what do you make of the new developments in the ever-changing Deshaun Watson story? This is our obligatory Deshaun Watson MALLER monologue of the day. Now, my thoughts on this. You've got submarine, aisle 5, and obstacle course. And we will tie all of this together. Now, this particular story, while it might be nothing, it is absolutely something right now, right? It could turn out to be nothing. They look at it, there's nothing to go forward with. But at this moment, the ante has been upped, right? They've upped the ante in the Deshaun Watson case. This is very straightforward. That part of it, it's one thing to be sued in civil court. You can file a lawsuit against anyone for anything. People do it all the time. They're called frivolous. That involves, at worst, a large chunk of gold bullion going to the party if you can even collect the money in a civil situation. But when you move it to the criminal court, you're facing your freedom being taken away. And Watson is in the danger zone of formal charges and then the prospect of a lengthy trial and incarceration. That's what's on the line here. And so this now rips the top off the volcano. And everybody better jump into the submarine, because if you're not in the submarine, you're not going to be safe here. We are going on a ride through some murky, muddy waters of hot lava. All right, we are just beginning the journey here. So get your popcorn ready as the evidence retrieval phase is upon us. Now, as they investigate whether or not they have enough to form a case here against the Texans quarterback, that means that the infamous Instagram messages, which Watson apparently was using as a dating site, many people have, but he took it to the next level, allegedly. Well, Watson's infamous Instagram, the text messages, the emails, all of it will be fair game, as well as the electronic mapping data, or data, depending how you look at it, so they can keep track of where Watson was when said activity is said to have taken place. The tracking data may clear Watson, or it could incriminate Deshaun Watson further, right? That's a treasure chest of information. Now, part B of this, Deshaun Watson immediately dismissed the allegations. You might remember that when the story came out, Watson immediately put a statement out on his social media that this was all some kind of attempt to extort money from him, and it was implying that there was nothing to it. Some of his mouthpieces in the media, the cheerleaders that he has on his side, claimed that these were just frivolous lawsuits, people trying to smear Watson, people also using the conspiracy that this was a orchestrated effort by the Texans organization to bring down Watson because he wanted to be traded. And ever since then, it seemed like, okay, there was one lawsuit, then there were a couple more lawsuits. These things have been multiplying. It's like the Gremlins movie from back in the day. Watson is taking these seriously, supposedly. He's not using a public defender. We know that. His lawyer on this matter wears $1,000 cufflinks. And if you've got a problem, if you're in trouble and you're a celebrity and you can afford it, which means you can write a big enough check, you too can hire the biggest Texas-sized defense attorney that money can buy, Rusty Hardin. Rusty's the man, and he's in demand, and he's in this case right now. He's the person you bring in as the fixer. You got a mess, right? Right now, Deshaun Watson, if it was a grocery store, we've got a huge spill on aisle 5. We need a cleanup on aisle 5. Call in Rusty Harden and the mop brigade as we speak. Big mop, bucket after bucket after bucket, soapy water, clean up the mess. And Harden, I hope he has got some bleach because this requires bleach. 21 civil suits, and who knows if that's the end of it. And they all show a similar pattern. Watson made unwanted contact during a massage. He needed extra attention on his salami, and some of the people did not apparently appreciate that. The groin area, the groin region needed more work. Now, so we have the star player who was picking up random women on Instagram, plausibly for massages that turned into something else. Based on this, you also have 18 women that Deshaun Watson's lawyer says he also got a massage for that were upstanding. He was an upstanding citizen. He was a Boy Scout. He was a Cub Scout, whatever you want to say there. So now we're close to 40 different women who have given Watson the old rub down in 3 years. Most athletes have 2 or 3 people they turn to outside of the circle the team has who they rely on. Now you can say that doesn't imply guilt. That just implies Deshaun really likes random strange women rubbing their hands all over his body. And Rusty Harden implied that Deshaun Watson had consensual adult relations with these particular women, not denying that there was some hanky-panky that took place, but it was all on the up and up. Nothing to see here. All right, last word on this. So now we play the waiting game as far as the Houston police are concerned. There won't be formal charges against Deshaun Watson today. That's not expected. It's going to take a few days at least through this for it to work out. So unless there is a probable cause, there will be no formal charges unless there's probable cause at any point, meaning they find that crime occurred likely and that the defendant, in this case it would be Deshaun Watson, was responsible. And getting to that point, we are going to have an obstacle course. Okay, we're going to have an obstacle course here, tiptoeing around the landmines. Watson is bringing dysfunction junction. What's your function to the Texans franchise, which is great because Watson was the one through his group of mouthpieces who was saying, let me tell you, this Texans team is messed up. They are messed up. Well, okay. I guess Watson's perfect for the Texans. If they're messed up, boy, he's even more messed up. My goodness. So that means now the latest development, law enforcement will be speaking with who? If you want to get to the bottom of what's going on with Deshaun Watson, you are going to then talk to his teammates, both current and former teammates, right? Would anybody be surprised if a guy like DeAndre Hopkins gets dragged into this as a close confidant of Deshaun Watson from a couple years back? This goes back several years. You're going to have Bill O'Brien dragged back into the fray here. The training staff will be brought in. Expect the Texans training staff to be the stars of this. They will be quizzed as to why Deshaun Watson had to have so many anonymous massage therapists on the side when they plausibly get paid to massage the Texans players. And they'll ask questions about that. And then when looking at this, police and prosecutors will weigh the likelihood of getting a conviction. Obviously, beyond a reasonable doubt is what they look for. And you can bet that Deshaun Watson and his attorney, Rusty Harden, right at this moment, right? They're not eating Easter candy. They are working in back channels as an attempt to throw all kinds of speed bumps into this. Any favors you have now is the time to activate them. If it's true that Rusty Harden has an in with the Houston Police Department and has I think it was his kid doing some work for them, well, make some phone calls, people, and let's not go forward with this. Now, from what I've been reading, the Texas system, the legal system there, they use a grand jury for felony cases, and we're in a normal situation. Ordinarily, 12 grand jurors would review whatever evidence they come up with and the testimony, and if at least 9 of them vote to true bill is the term they use there. It's a fancier way of saying indict or indicting. So this is just the tip of the spear. And even if the Houston police come back today and say there's not enough to go forward with criminal charges, Deshaun Watson cannot exhale. He cannot exhale. This story is far from over. Why? News came out over the Easter weekend. Tony Busby, the attorney for the 21 women who are suing Deshaun Watson, Tony Busby announced he's holding a news conference on Tuesday. So not on Monday here, but on Tuesday. And Busby will live stream that event. It's at noon Eastern, 1 p.m. in the East, 10 a.m. in the West. It's prime sleep time for me. But they will discuss, according to Busby here, significant developments in the Deshaun Watson situation. And does that mean that we will see criminal charges in a different state? Remember, this is a multi-state situation. At least 3 states, Watson is accused of some shady activity in multiple states. So it doesn't just have to be in Houston. We know in Georgia and I believe in California, there were some accusations made against Watson. So this has a chance to spiral into a Darren Sharper 2.0 situation.